afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. Jiu-Jitsu 2000 here today. I'm back and I hope you're doing fantastic out there. This video is going to be a continuation video based on the new breaking news off of the last video that I did of the Middle East crisis, the war in Israel. I'm going to be talking about some things that are a little bit graphic in nature. So if you have young ears around, I highly recommend that you turn this video off and come back to it when you have freedom to hear it without letting little ears hear it. Now, the last video, there was some people, apparently I hurt some people's feelings. I had some people unsubscribe. I had some people leaving bad comments that I had to delete. And there was also some thumbs down. My channel is a channel where I do all different facets of videos. I want you guys to be able to hear this type of stuff if this is the type of video that you want to watch. There's a lot of people in our world that are afraid of a lot of stuff going on right now. And because of that fear, they're ready to kill the messenger. Now, I didn't want to do that video, and I spoke that very clearly that I didn't want to do that, but I did it because it was a request. Now this video, I want to do this one. I want to share some of this updated information with you guys and clarify some things. Now there was another comment that came through on that video and it said, well, you're just sitting there in front of the camera and you don't have any facts. You need to prove what you're saying. No, I don't. My job as a YouTuber, as a content creator, is to reach out to people. Okay, that means I take pride in what I do. And that means I don't lie to my people. If I'm going to put something out there, I do my homework beforehand and I make dang sure that the information that I'm going to project comes from a very, very highly credible source. Now, if I'm going to share something that could be right or wrong, and it's just my opinion, I make sure that I specify that when I talk about it so that you guys can take my opinions like a grain of salt. For example, in that last video, I made some comments about watching these tour buses as I came home from New Mexico. That belief that I had, that opinion that I had, that those buses could have been full of Hamas, yes, I'll admit that was probably a bit of a stretch, but that was my opinion. That's what I felt. It all kind of reminds me of social media. When you look at social media and you think, maybe it's Facebook, for example, and you're scrolling through Facebook. And I do this all the time. I see some people that are friends of mine and they might have a completely different opinion of something than I have. And if I see something that is like, oh, wow, I don't agree with that, what do? I have two options. One, I can go over there and start trolling in their comments, or two, I can do what I do, and that is scroll on. I still love that person. I still respect that person, even though we might have had a difference of opinion. So I'm asking you guys that are watching, if you don't like this type of content, by all means turn it off. And don't watch it. Just scroll past it and come back for the stuff that you do like. Come back and watch the videos that you did subscribe for. This type of content that I'm doing right now is for a completely different audience, and it's for me to put information out there because there's so much fake information, especially in our news outlets, and there's just a lot that's being said that's not accurate, and that's why I felt the need to do this video. And again, when I have an opinion, I will specify that it's an opinion, and everything else that I'm saying I truly believe is coming from credible sources. So I do have my little list here of information, my notes, and these are topics that I'm going to be talking about because there's so many new developments and I don't want to miss anything. So I'm going to start with the topic of life. I do not condone in any way, shape, or form the loss of any life. I don't want to see anybody die, good guy or bad guy. I don't want to see anyone die. Israel is at war. And the unfortunate part about war is people die. There's going to be casualties. There's going to be things that happen that we don't like. This is just the unfortunate nature of what war is. Let's go to the facts, because there's a lot of news channels putting out incorrect information. They're saying that Israel knew that Hamas was going to attack the music festival, that Egypt gave them a tip, that so-and-so gave them a tip, that they were warned. They did not know that this attack was coming. Israel was celebrating a music festival on their Sabbath day, singing about peace and love, and they were brutally, viciously attacked by terrorists of Hamas. The people that attacked this music festival came in on paragliders and ultralights. They had cameras mounted on their chest, cameras mounted on their head. They were filming this stuff as they were doing it. They were mowing people down, murdering people, and they had no respect for human life. There's a lot of videos out there, if you dig deep enough, that you can find that shows these horrific things. Some of these Hamas people had went live, and I saw some of those videos. They were very graphic. There was a video, just saying for an example here, this is a video that I saw. There was a row of porta potties, and they shot every one of them, not even caring who was in it, not even caring if there might have been a person in there that the round, grazed or killed them dead or shot them and wounded them. There was no respect. There was no honor. And it was so unfortunate. If we look at Israel as a country, and you take the size of this country, which is approximately the size of our state of Delaware, and you look at 9/11, the attack on the United States, and you look at the amount of life that we lost, over 3,000 people on that day, and you take that into account of how many people are in the United States of America, that was a tremendous loss for us. But if you do the same exact thing with Israel, and you take their population and the amount of people that live in there, and look at the numbers of how many people died on this horrific day, that would have been like having at least 10 9/11s in one attack. That is so unfortunate. This was deliberate. It was planned, and Israel had no idea that it was happening. They were coming in, they were murdering people, just mowing them down. Just pure evil, pure violence. It's so sad. I saw a video where they were walking into what appeared to be a residential or maybe an apartment type complex, and they were just mowing people down. There was a dog that ran out. They shot the dog, and the round must have hit the dog like in the spine or something, because it didn't kill the dog. So I'm watching this video of this dog trying to drag himself, and they shot the dog a second time, made the situation worse. We're looking at a dog dragging itself like watching the old Terminator movies. There was absolutely no respect for any life from Hamas. And that's why Israel's pissed. And that's why I'm pissed. Because I respect and love life. They don't. They are terrorists. So unfortunate. The next point that I want to make is the hospital that got hit. Because Palestine had a misfire. That misfire hit the hospital. It was an accident. But Hamas is saying that Israel shot a hospital and that they were killing innocent people. That is not true. The hospital, the rocket that went off was a Palestine rocket that didn't mean to go off. It was a misfire. So unfortunate. Then we have our president that goes over there. Let's not forget that he gave $6 billion to Iran for those hostages. And then he gave $5 billion approximately to Israel. Then he goes over there and has a meeting with the president of Israel. And then at the end of the meeting, he says that he's going to grant $100 million for humanitarian aid to Gaza. Think about that. Gaza? Wait a minute. Whoa. That's so he doesn't have to say Iran. He's giving the money to the terrorists, folks. And then Palestine is saying, well, Israel hit us and we didn't even know it was coming. No, they let you know that it was coming. They dropped leaflets out of an airplane that were falling in the sky saying, you guys have 24 hours to evacuate because we're going to start a ground invasion. They gave them warning. Now the ground invasion has not happened yet. So crazy, so crazy. Lots of stuff here. So when I think about this $100 million that our president gave to the West Bank, which is basically giving it to Iran, you know, that reminds me of a bully on the playground at school, picking on the kid, saying, give me your lunch money. What does the kid do because he's scared? He gives the bully the money. And then the next day, the bully thinks, well, I need some more donuts. I'm going to go pick on that kid again. He's going to give me his lunch again. Okay, cool. It doesn't work, though, because now you've established a relationship that's just based on transactions of the bully taking what he wants, and all he has to do is make some threats. And we are seeing this on a much larger scale. That is exactly what Hamas is doing to our resident. He's just being picked on, and he thinks that he's just going to hand out money to all these terrorists. Terrorists don't care about life. They don't care about honor, respect. They don't care about nothing. They care about killing, and they care about money. That's what they care about. So to sit there and just hand out, oh, here's another $100 million. Let me take this a little bit further, okay? That money that our resident is giving away is not his money. That's our money. That is our tax dollars going to our enemies. Because Israel is our ally. You're going to give 100. I'm for humanitarian things. I'm for loving life and loving people and humans and all that. I'm for that. But we're past that. We are in the middle of a war in the Middle East. Israel and Palestine, Israel and Iran, we're having a problem over there. We don't need to be stepping in saying that we're going to support Israel, but at the same time we're giving Iran more money. Diplomacy does not work. When you're being picked on by a bully, the best thing that you can do is stand up for yourself. Stand up for yourself and don't play this game. Otherwise, it's going to become a pattern. Because Iran is going to say, well, the next time they're itching for some more money, all they got to do is something horrific. And then here we go. We're going to just go give them some more money because our peasants down here, the little old taxpayers, they will work hard and work them into the ground. And we'll just give that money, that their hard-earned money, to all these people that are violent and have no respect for the human life. That's the way I feel about that. So diplomacy doesn't work. How do you win with a terrorist? You wipe them off the face of the planet. That's how you win. Now, I know that that goes against what I said earlier, what I opened up with this video on, is that I value life. I value good life, human beings that have kindness in their hearts. These people are evil people. They ain't even humans. I don't even look at them like human beings. They need to be wiped clean off the face of the planet. That is the only way they are going to hear this message. And that's what Israel's wanting to do. It's just crazy. It's so unfortunate. So unfortunate. Almost all of the news media that you see here in the United States, there's some stuff that's being told correctly, and then there's a lot that I've seen that is just painting this picture, just like the hospital. They're saying Israel's shooting down all these innocent people. Israel is not about killing innocent people. Israel is about, I got my butt kicked by the bully and I'm going to fight back. That's what Israel is. I stand by Israel 1,000%. Now, there were 2 command and control nuclear launch planes flying around over the United States over the last week. Those planes have the ability to launch nuclear weapons in the event that the ground control systems might be bombed or something like that. They can make these strikes from these aircraft. So there's been 2 aircraft flying around. So in the event that something gets hit on the ground or we receive an attack, we will have our ability to launch nuclear missiles if needed. Also in the Gulf of Mexico, west of Florida, there was 2 low-flying aircraft of ours that were searching for submarines. They were flying real low, so my opinion is, and this is just, I could be right or wrong here, but I'm suspecting that they might have been looking for maybe a Chinese or Russian submarine in that area in the Gulf of Mexico. So I don't know what the facts are on that, but that's I do know that those planes were flying, so those are facts. Let's go back to the horrific attacks. Women were raped. Children were beheaded. I've seen pictures of babies that were burned. Women that were burned. So unfortunate. These people are not humanitarian people. They are evil. On the last video that I did, there was a comment that came through that said, well, you know, you're wrong. You predicted that they were going to strike, that Hamas was going to strike on the 13th, Friday the 13th, and you were wrong. Basically trying to clown me like I'm stupid because they didn't attack. Well, let me tell you something to that one. There is no expiration date on terrorists, okay? Just because they didn't do what they said they were going to do does not mean that it is not imminent. So keep your heads on a swivel and don't let your guard down, because just because that date that they said they were going to do it didn't happen does not mean that they aren't up to something. Both sides, Palestine and Israel, both sides of this conflict have underground areas. Let me tell you the flat truth between the Palestinians and the Israelis and how they utilize their underground places. Israel likes to put their women and children underground and their soldiers up on the ground where the war is being fought. The other side puts the women and children up on the ground in the war zone, and they put their fighters down below and they shoot their attacks from underneath. These two are not the same. They're going to receive casualties because Israel is shooting that direction. But what Hamas loves to do is they love to play the victim. They're going to put these women and children out there in harm's way, and when they die, they're going to say, Israel's over here killing innocent children and women. They're not protecting these women and children at all. They're hiding while Israel's out there hiding what's important to women and children. There's a big difference there. It's just so unfortunate that what's going on in the Middle East. We have one aircraft carrier strike group already there. There's a second on the way. There's a third, HMS Prince of Wales, I think, coming. And then there's also a fourth empty U.S. aircraft carrier that I think is going to be heading in that direction for the use of a mobile airport, basically. So there's a lot of firepower in the Middle East. And if you think about just one carrier group, that air wing has about 75 planes. You know, that's a lot of firepower. And then this next one, I do not know if this is accurate, okay? But I've been told, and I haven't verified this yet, so you guys please go verify it for yourself with some truth, not some fake news. But I've been told that our resident insulted Putin, that he made a comment when he was in Israel, he said something to the effect that if Putin wants to get involved, we're going to wipe him out. Something, I'm probably butchering those words, but that's what I was told. I don't know. I'm going to go look into that. And when I find out the truth of that, I'll definitely let you guys know. So this is just a crazy thing. I do think that things are going to spark off. I don't think Israel is going to let up. And it's unfortunate that our resident seems to be playing both sides on this. So unfortunate. There's also talk of Ezekiel 38. A lot of people saying that this is the war of Ezekiel 38. I personally don't think that, because Israel still has allies. Israel is not by themselves yet. When that happens and they have nobody to support them, then I would think that this could be Ezekiel 38 war. So at this moment in time, I don't think that. Now, I do believe that it could lead to that. I really do. I do believe that it could lead to that. And, you know, there's a lot of people that are running around scared, and I am fearful also, but ultimately I'm not. Because, you know why? I know how the story ends. I know that God wins. So I'm staying obedient to God, and I'm loving my family and my friends, and I'm praying for everybody involved, even the bad guys over there. I'm praying that God will soften their hearts, because I have a value for life, and I don't want to see nobody die. Now, if you're an evil monster, yes, wipe them off the planet. So I'm going to end this video on a quote. This is a very powerful quote. You're free to choose, but you're not free from the consequences of your choice. Wow. That is a powerful quote. So I ask you guys that when you go out and you vote, think about this stuff. Think about what exactly you're voting for.
Said, we found Emily. She's dead. And I went, yes! I went, yes! And smiled. Because that is the best news of the possibilities that I knew. That was the best possibility that I was hoping for.
And we actually spoke with one man, originally from Ireland, who was separated from his 8-year-old daughter. She had gone to a sleepover at a friend's house who also lived in the kibbutz. And he described to us the agonizing moment. After 2 days of waiting for answers, he was rescued. He finally found out that his 8-year-old daughter, Emily, had been killed.
She was either dead or in Gaza. And if you know anything about what they do to people in Gaza, that is worse than death. That is worse than death. The way they treat you. They'd have no food, they'd have no water. She'd be in a dark room filled with Christ knows how many people, and terrified every minute, hour, day, and possible years to come. So death was a blessing, an absolute blessing.
I hope you guys got some good, useful information out of this video. I am going to pray for every single life involved, good or bad. I'm going to pray that God softens the hearts of these evil people. Because like I said earlier, I don't condone the loss of any life. Humanitarian is important. But evil needs to be eradicated. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please feel free to leave comments down below. And just like last time, if there's hate in the comments, you're out of here. If you guys think that thumbing me down or unsubscribing or leaving a nasty comment is going to hurt me, you're wrong. I have much, much thicker skin than that. Thank you guys so much. I love you all. We'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.